Islam. Let's rise and face these. You see that way? Yeah. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
To our holy prophet.
To our holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Drew Ali.
Islam.
Ashay Amin.
Islam.
To be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claimed that I was a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all of these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. This is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years, Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Islam.
Islam. Islam. This is the instruction from your Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Drew Ali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone, and many eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are the trying hours, now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace. Your divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam.
That was three. That was 3 or 2.
That was 2. There's another one? Okay. Islam. This is the instruction from your prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creeds, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on. I read that one.
Huh? You did that? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was on the 2, right?
Yeah, it's T.
It's 3. I read this one
Yeah. Yeah, that
and
was
this one.
He's more.
Peace, man.
What up, more?
We're here. We're here.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah.
I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member of our group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah from their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they shall turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Nabi Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Nabi Ali, Islam.
Islam. Good thanks. Islam. Yes, we're here.
Yeah, we here.
Welcome.
What's
Welcome. From near and far. Seattle, Detroit, Mecca, Maryland,
Maryland, DC.
Canaanland.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where it's at. Give thanks, Sister Ellie, for getting the tour going on again. We appreciate it. And the last few places that we've been, it's the usual. Moors getting together, and it's a great time, as usual. So honors to you, Moors, who came from far to be here, busing and conveyancing and flying and whatever else. We're going to open up with some readings from this book, Moors Dressed as Moors, by Irigoyen Garcia. Clothing, social distinction, and ethnicity in Clothing, social distinction, and ethnicity in early modern Iberia. We'll take some excerpts from this, and then we'll open up the floor and deal with any questions that you have. And if anything comes to your mind as we're going through this, just speak your piece. Moors at Court, page 29. In spite of the morophobic discourse used to legitimize Isabella's claim to power, the game of canes and the custom of dressing in Moorish garb remained an integral part of royal entries and court ceremonies, both before and after Enrique IV's reign, which was not exceptional in this regard. Monarchs of non-Iberian Monarchs of non-Iberian origin were very quickly integrated into the game of canes, which makes us wonder if the Castilian court protocol required monarchs to dress a la Morisca as a way to legitimize their claim to rule. So with regard to the position with Moors and being able to be in habit, be in culture. The people who were ruling after we fell out of power, they would emulate us in order to make their position be a little bit more sturdy, to make their position be accepted, because everybody's familiar with um, when the Moors ruled, everything was good in Europe.
Right.
When the Moors ruled, everybody had food, everybody had somewhere to live. Vagrancy, no sick people. It was a beautiful way of life. And when you get to the takeover, whether we're talking about here, whether we're talking about the Americas, this is the same theme that they follow, right? Everybody who's over here pretending to be government, they got to be Masons, they got to wear fezzes. We went to Lauder earlier today, and they have all their regalia up there and stuff like that. They got their pendants and their chains and then everything is Arabic, ancient Egyptian. Nothing is European.
Right.
There's nothing in there that was European. So, and we're talking about the monarchs of non-Iberian origin. So we're talking about the modern Europeans that took over. You have anything to add?
I see it like, just to add on, I see it like what you mean, like everything come from us. So it's like they trying to emulate a copycat, the OG, the original. But you still looking at us at all times though. And they got it looking at it, they got us in the Americas looking at it like it's foreign. Like, how we'd go like on trips, we'd go like on vacations and whatnot. We'd go like people go to Dubai and Morocco over there. And they dressing like us.
Yeah.
Whole time, that's our drip.
It's flipped.
It's
Yeah.
flipped. So we looking at them like they got, like they coaches is not our culture.
Right.
Whole time it's our culture. The turban, the fez is just everything. So it's like they jacking our style, they jacking our culture, they jacking our language, but they can never be us. We just got to step up and just say, nah, this reclaim it. This is ours. Islam.
A few years later, now crowned Philip I of Castile, he again participated in a game of canes held in the Valladolid in 1506. In this instance, there is a visual record of Philip the Handsome dressing as a Moor. Also, like his father being a foreigner, was no excuse for not following the Iberian ritual of dressing as a Moor, to participate in the game of canes. Indeed, when compared to previous Iberian monarchs, Charles V's reign represents a substantive, quantitative, and qualitative leap into the wealth of information that we have on this practice. Going back again to them getting us out of power, the Inquisition, and them making sure that we don't know our stuff so that they can use it. If we know, then they can't use it. If we don't know, then it's easier for them to manipulate others into going with they're the monarch, they're the authority, they're the same way they do today.
Yeah.
With going back again to all the Masonic fraternity, whoever's, from the civil rights leaders to the judges to the lawyers to whoever they are, the impact of Moors not knowing who we are is why they have the power that they have. So, we have this information already. We already know what's up, as we can see, right? With what's going on, the brainwash is deep with our people.
Yeah.
Right, the brainwash is deep, and when we were at Maryland, it's the same thing, right? The word on the street is, yeah, something's going on, but then on the day, it ain't happening, right?
You know what it remind me of too, Cujo? It's like we was talking about this in the shop. It's kind of like you know how like in 300 he had to do like the rite of passage.
Yeah.
Remember when he had to get the spear. He had to go out there as a young dude. Yeah. He had to get the spear and he had to go back there and the wolf jumped on him, but he killed him with the spear. It's kind of like that's their rite of passage. But even in that, that's still Moorish though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like we see our culture, we see our history in front of us being told by foreigners though. So we looking at everything from like a foreigner mentality instead of being like, nah, that's us.
That's us.
That's us first. Like they got us flip-flop to think like foreigners are that. And we looking at our culture like, nah, we need to go join what they doing.
Yeah.
Nah. Cause even like we talking about like the rite of passage, right? The rite of passage is what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali left us right here with the Circle 7. Yeah. He left us the rite of passage. Like, okay, y'all study that. Y'all can see how the husband supposed to treat the wife supposed to treat the husband, children, how you raise them, all that. Like Allah, man, is one. Like everything is here, pretty much. We just got to activate it and not be passive.
Yeah.
Not be passive.
And the activation of it is really with the ones who don't know. Yeah. The ones who know, we already know what's up.
Yeah, we lit already.
You know what I mean? We wake those ones up though that don't know, man. Because like you said, our people are so in a slumber. Yeah. And it's just like when you present them with the facts, the truth of facts, it's just like they still don't be one to accept it. Unless it come from the pale face.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like, oh, like, nah,
right.
Like it'd be real frustrating, man. Yeah. Just like in the whole Juneteenth scenario and all these holidays.
Yeah, that was crazy yesterday.
Man. Yesterday was just like, yesterday I had to tap out, bro. I had to get off social media for that. It was just like, Juneteenth, happy Juneteenth. Yeah, it was shirts and they pins, and I was just like, yo,
it was wild.
Yeah, draining me right now. Yeah, like I'm really having to tap out.
I think the desire for us to be seen is the issue, and
yes, sir.
Because of the desire to be seen, we don't know what to present. So we hold on to everything else that is not valid. We hold on to everything that's a misnomer.
Right.
And we see it in other cultures that actually model their stuff after us.
Yeah.
Every time. We see it. We see everybody else stick together and do and move how they move. We don't know nothing about that. We don't know nothing about unity. We don't know nothing about our actual culture. And then that, as I mentioned, that desire to be seen, what you was talking about just a moment ago on, rites of passage. I mean, it's real simple. The Prophet left us the whole shebang, everything. It was laid down, very simple. But that desire to be seen is it's causing them to lose sight of what's actually important.
Yeah, it outweighs the reality.
Exactly. So that's why you have Black Lives Matter, and that's why you have June 16th and 19th or whatever it's supposed to be, because it's a Juneteenth.
Right.
What team?
Right. What is it? What is it really? Just give them a team. It
doesn't matter.
They'll run with it.
Really?
Run with it.
Right. Just like you just said, they're gonna run with it real easy.
As long as we validate them and give them something.
Exactly. They're gonna neck and elbow. They're gonna neck and elbow.
Yeah. All that.
All day.
Eat it up.
The crazy thing about it,
Eat the Kool-Aid.
they put the Juneteenth stuff with the Pride Month.
Yeah.
Put it together like cohesive. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you going against the Most High, because he ain't about that life.
Yeah.
You know what
None of that.
He ain't about that life. And you put it with our culture,
Right.
and our heritage, and our history. Our history is never on that.
Never
on that. That's the pale man.
That's how they get in.
Right.
Yeah.
That homo stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you tried to put it together, and then I seen them at the Chicago Council. They were like Juneteenth and Pride together.
Like Moore just said though, like it's like
And
it's
Mayor
like
Brandon Johnson is right there. He like,
he co-signed. He co-signed.
I'm there.
It's like Moore just said, it's like the constant need to be validated. Like you gotta feel like you a part of something.
Right.
I need you to co-sign what I'm on type. Nah, that you co-signing the wrong thing though. Whole time you co-signing the wrong thing. Like you want somebody to look at you like, all right, you somebody. It's like Jesse Jackson all over again. Your head, G.
With a different face.
Yeah, with a different face. You are somebody. Yeah, you are somebody. You more.
Exactly. More than that. And
More than
I was
that.
telling the sister that when I was coming, got on the plane, got here, I'm coming down the escalator so I can go meet them, right? And she talking about, the holiday, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, this ain't no holiday.
Right.
And I turned around and kept moving. And she talked a little bit more. I said, well, truth is, we are more than that. You get what I mean? I said, we are more than that. I just kept pushing. Because if you ain't going to recognize what's in front of you,
then what can you do?
Can't do nothing with them.
Right.
Exactly.
Can't do nothing with them.
So,
I had an interesting Juneteenth myself. It was nice to be in the mix though, because your question, I believe, was how can we, be able to be of service with, other people who haven't learned the information that we learned yet, or accepted it, even if they heard about it in passing. Keep being yourself. Just keep being yourself. You have to keep walking, because sometimes the only thing missing is you. But at the same time, you have to preserve and protect yourself, right? So really asking Allah for that guidance, like where to now, Allah, or just common sense is great. Common sense is really great. Always helps. But yeah, walking away. We have phones. Oh, let me get your number. And then walking away. I mean, there's a lot, but yes, we got to witness in real time. Some of the effects of miseducation, the fear, and the infighting as far as the dirty words and sellouts have knocking down our dominoes. They're trying to.
Yeah, they trying.
They only set themselves back, but it's just like you get to kind of sit back and be a boss. Like Allah puts you in a position where you always knew you wanted to rise to a certain level of leadership or service. Hey, get that pen and paper out and start writing. What you would be good at too, and then how to safely do it. And we've seen other cultures or other parts of our family from the vineyard who may look a little different and all of that. They've done it. We've seen examples already. So, it's best that we keep taking our time with it, going at our own pace, but definitely keep writing, I do.
It's long. Yeah, just be yourself.
Just put it out there for everybody. Just what does that be yourself mean to you? Like we'll just we'll just put it out there. What does that mean to you?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Being comfortable in your own skin. You just comfortable in yourself. You don't need nobody to validate who you are. You wake up, you know who you are, you know your mission, you got a purpose. Gotta have a purpose. Because if you don't got a purpose, you just out here just somebody else tell you to do something, somebody tell you to do this, you do that. You just like a gopher or something, jumping around, hole to hole. You don't know, you ain't got no home, you just jumping around type. So just knowing like who you are, what you about, what's your mission, what is your goal, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy, because like people will go to their job for a job interview, and then they'll be like on some, I'm gonna turn my resume in. I know this is me on paper, and I hope somebody hires me because this is me representation on paper. But like without that paper, who are you though? Like who are you without that resume given to the boss? Yeah, without the ID, who are you? Can you stand up and say who you are?
Some people go in the job, it's like their personalities, the whole facade when they get off of work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You know what I'm
really
saying?
that.
That's
Yes,
when you see the real.
That's the real them.
change,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Two-Face,
Like
you know
being
what
a
I'm saying?
Gemini.
Right. That's the
Yeah.
real them.
It's Gemini.
Yeah.
It's up and down.
Like, right.
Yeah. Dr. Jekyll,
You talk
Mr.
about
Hyde.
properly,
Right.
you know.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
You get off, you just, man, it's
Exactly.
like another
He
person.
was like that outside of work, man.
Yeah.
Different, you know?
You just went into the booth, trying to go home.
Like it was a box of Apple Jacks.
As soon as they clock in, they somebody else.
Dr. Jekyll.
Like from their personality, they can't just snap out on the job because they like, oh, I ain't gonna get paid no more. They gotta have self-control. See, it's crazy because people gotta have self-control on the job. When they get off the clock, when they clock out, they just be whatever. See, so they gotta be disciplined on the clock. Why you gotta have discipline off 8 hours, 12 hours? Yeah.
It's like Kaiser Sosa.
Yeah.
Suspects.
They clock in, they somebody else.
Started walking.
Start walking.
Yeah.
But some of the policies make them be like that.
Oh,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying?
Yeah.
Policies within the job. You gotta be like this way. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, man.
You can't practice your religion. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't wear my fez in the job.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not part of the Constitution.
At all. That goes divine and national.
Right. You
It's
know?
divine and national. Because once you tap into that divine, you already know like you got an intuition like this ain't right.
Something's wrong.
This ain't
You gonna
right.
get that feeling.
Yeah, this just ain't right. But when they go, when people clock in, they could. So nobody could tell me they can't switch up.
That's
You can't tell me you can't switch because you hit a switch every 9 to 5.
Yeah.
yes.
Every 9 to 5, you switch up. I don't care if you work 12 hours, you're gonna switch up and be like, I gotta conform to what the boss and them telling me to do. So you can't tell me the switch can't be hit again.
Get to that.
If we come back to nationality, you can't tell me that can't switch up. You can switch back, but it's comfortable over there. You get a paycheck, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You get to do what you want to do, 401k type, nah. But you see it over here, like, nah, the Moors ain't popping yet. So I ain't gonna go over there. See, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The Moors ain't popping
It
yet.
ain't popular.
It ain't cracking yet. So I ain't really on that right now. They ain't on
The
nothing.
Israelites, they
Yeah.
marching down the street.
Right.
They got 5,000.
Yeah.
They ain't yelling, get over here.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, it feels like it's obsolete.
For sure.
You know?
They ain't seeing like the money,
Right.
even though the so-called money, the dollar got the pyramid on that.
Right.
Great seal
They
is
ain't
on there.
looking close enough. They ain't looking.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. Looking from too far.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
And it's right there.
Right.
In their hand though.
Literally.
In their hand.
Every
In
day.
their hand.
Every day.
And then you go question them about like what's the first one? How many rights is in the First Amendment? How many rights is in the First Amendment? They be like, it'd be foreign to them. Like you'd be like, dang.
Yeah, right
You
in
know what
front,
I'm saying?
right in
What's
your
the lawful
hand.
form of government? They'd be like, dang.
Who's the first president?
Like,
Yeah.
dog,
Type.
this is our law.
It's supposed to be what
Right.
you know.
This our law.
Right, supposed to
You
know
supposed
that.
to know that.
That's like knowing your alphabet.
Right, exactly.
Knowing how to count.
A, B, and C.
You don't know how to count, somebody gonna get down on you.
That's
Period.
supreme law. Oh, yeah.
Because we all learned it, like we all grew up together. And I mean, at least in my elementary school and primary school upbringing in the 90s, that was, we said the Pledge of Allegiance. Like,
Yeah.
we always, we had that in
Yeah.
queue, you know, and then Obama came in and then everything changed after that. It just went down. And now our schools, you know, hardly, Trump is trying to rebuild the whole thing. But as a republic, he's not saying he can do it alone. So that's where it comes in. Like, we really got to be on our, you know, focusing on our goals, like that we had before any type of pain, trauma, whatever. That's Allah heals all of that. So it's
sure.
just taking our place in where we need to be, but definitely like keeping our routine.
Yeah. Even in the Pledge of Allegiance, though, it say that. It's crazy how people say the Pledge of Allegiance their whole life. Then you become an adult. And that's why I see why Noble Drew Ali was like, teach the young.
Yeah.
Teach the young. Because when you see the babies, when the babies start saying, you looking like, damn. And then the adults who condition with cognitive dissonance, they going to try to brainwash the shorty like, nah, you black. This is democracy. In the Pledge of Allegiance, what did it say? The Republic,
I'm so sick of that.
Which is Spain.
I'm so sick of that word.
which is Spain.
Like early elementary with
That's
that.
everything.
Just that right there show people like, no, this is a democracy. They gonna go crazy.
Liberty and
Like,
justice
fam.
for all.
Just say the Pledge of Allegiance one time. Then they'll be like, no, this is democracy. You see the glitch in their head, just start tweaking
They
like
do
the whole head to this glitch.
Like, they don't even know what republic means.
Right.
So it's our duty to teach them what that means and what truly democracy means too.
Mhm.
But they don't know what that means neither, so they just
You
hold
think you
on
know
to
what
it.
it means.
Exactly.
You think you know it's good.
Mhm.
Right, so it's already here, but you have to teach them what sense it is.
Mhm. Cause I see that though.
Islam, back to what you asked earlier, you said what it means, to be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I didn't know exactly what that meant until I started reading the Proposition. For me. And I say that because all before that, I thought I was black, I thought I was Negro, I thought I was colored, I thought I was African American, Afro-American. And then I started reading the Proposition, and I found out, well, actually, I got a nationality.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I got real history to attach myself to. I got a real
Not the fake.
past.
Right.
Not no black history.
Right.
Slave
You know what I'm
boats.
saying? Not right, exactly. None of that. So for me, it was a real eye-opener. And it actually just flipped everything else on its head for me. Because now all I needed to do is say, well, I'm a Moor.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And it covers everything.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It covers every base, even from land to water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So hey, that was key for me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
The word
Exactly.
itself.
You know what I mean? So that's that. After you start studying that, that's what did it for me. I was like, okay, bet. Now, why don't my other people know this? Why don't my elders, who I know and maybe come across this, why they not talking about it no more?
Yeah.
Why they ain't saying nothing? So, exactly. I know why.
Yeah, taking that bread.
Man, I just
Taking them payoffs.
I yield though, it's not.
Islam.
Islam.
Back again to Moors just as Moors. Page 36. As I have come to understand the situation in Spain, during the 16th century, there were always trunks full of Moorish costumes.
Trunks.
Trunks
full of
Moorish costumes.
Mm.
Right? Yep.
So then you would say, how big is one trunk? How big is just one trunk? I said trunks of Moorish costumes.
Trunks. Yeah, so going back to the costume, the trunks full of costumes. Friday, October 26, 1928, Moorish costume ball. So enthusiastic was the reception of the costumes worn by the Moorish Americans during their parade that the members of the Moorish Science Temple have decided to have at different times what they would call a Moroccan costume ball. This affair will be had shortly after the holidays, about New Year's Eve. The Prophet consented that this could be for the entertainment of the members. Other groups of people in the city have been using the dress of our forefathers and imitating them all, but the olive hue they cannot get.
Mm.
During the Moorish convention, more than 1,500 Moroccan costumes were rented to Europeans who had seen the program and knew the Moors were to have a costume parade. But nevertheless, we were successful in obtaining, through certain Asiatic costume dealers, all the costumes we wanted. So 1,500 Moroccan costumes went to Europeans or whoever that are, wanting to be down with this.
1,500.
1,500. Right? They want to be down with Noble Drew Ali. They want to be at the convention. They want to see Moors, be around Moors, right? But nevertheless, right, this is with regard to brothers from the East going to save you. But nevertheless, we were successful in obtaining through certain Asiatic costume dealers all the costumes we wanted. So a few years ago, we had like it was like a Moorish costume ball for Noble Drew Ali Day. So we asked Moors to dress Moorish and all that. And there's this, they have a Hindustani area, where they have their strip, it's just their food, their clothing stores, their everything there. So we go there, we're looking for different tunics and jalabiyas, and Moors are just shopping. So the guy who owned the store was like, yo, what are you guys, like, why are you buying this stuff? Because you're not Hindus or whatever, like, why are you buying this stuff? So we're talking about us being Moors and whatever. Took some of the Moors in the back to go have tea and whatever, while other Moors are looking around, took them in the back to go have tea and just show them that we know. You know what I mean? We know. Gave them tax exempt, was no issue. Some places you go to, they're gonna fight it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just gonna fight it just because they can.
Yeah.
And once they saw that we were being ourselves, then that allowed them to be themselves. And they were open to discussion, and it wasn't a we're spending finance in your store anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? It turned into, well, anytime, come on back, anytime. And you know what I mean? Here's that they gave, I think the children like they gave like box juices to the children and all this, just because, we were being who we are,
They took them to the back.
Yeah.
They took them to the back, man. They know when you genuine. Like they can see, they can sense it. Like, okay, you really being who yourself now. Let's go to the back. You can't have all this in the front. Nah. Let's go to the back. Yeah, that's strong.
The Moorish costume ball will be among the first of such given, where an idea is put forth that has to do with the origin of the millions of people in this country, who can trace their ancestors back to the illustrious founders of civilization. It will remind the descendants of these people of the time when their forefathers were the main people to spread the most progressive ideas of civilization. In fact, they paved civilization many times. When more barbaric tribes from the north were ravishing all countries, they were permitted to enter. It was the forefathers of the Moorish Americans and their kin that saved the historic records that were threatened during these days, when the burning of libraries was a fad for despotic soldiers. The costume ball will be much looked for and appreciated by the Prophet. Moorish clothing as livery. Along with the equestrian ability and the possession of the appropriate horses and tack, the wearing of Moorish clothing was central to the outward demonstration of status. Going back to everything that we know from, having a fez on, having a turban on, having free national name, all these things are demonstrating our status, that you can't look at us like you look at all the other people who you're dealing with. You can't look at us like the Juneteenth people.
Yes, sir.
You can't look at us. When we went to Burr Oak Cemetery looking for Drew Ali's gravesite, one of the groundskeepers. Like, yo, you guys Nation of Islam?
Every
No,
time.
we're Moors. We're
Right.
pre Nation of Islam. Oh, okay. Because my wife is Muslim, and I get it. I get that we have a culture and we have certain things that were taken away, but I never really, got too deep in it or whatever. But that status thing, seeing us with the feathers on, and then automatically in his mind he's going to Nation of Islam, and they don't wear feathers.
They don't.
They don't wear feathers.
Never have.
They don't say, where's Noble Drew Ali's gravesite? You know what I mean? Moorish clothing as a sign of identity from one game of canes to the next, such as Gaspar Mercader in Valencia, who always used an orange marlota embroidered with silver hearts. Yet they were expensive garments that only the wealthiest could afford to own. Very often, participants receive Moorish clothing as gifts of livery from the monarchs or grandees, as Jones and Stalybras state. In the case of the modern England, livery acted as the medium through which the social system marked bodies so as to associate them with particular institutions. This use of livery as a way to associate individuals with the monarchy is clear in a game of canes celebrated in Valentinoid in 1527, in which Charles V gave the nobles of the city Moorish clothing with his royal insignia. So look at it like, so they took over, and now they're sending people out now in Moorish regalia, but it doesn't have Moorish symbology on it. Right? It has all the Catholic monarch stuff on it. It has, symbology that's referenced to them. But they're not dressing like people from the cave.
Right.
They're dressing like Moors because they didn't have anything. Right?
Pretenders.
Yeah.
Covert pretenders.
Islam.
Islam.
And I feel like when Cush says the pretenders, he's not even saying it in a negative way. It's just a fact that people will purposely know exactly what you need, be able to say it. It could be as simple as giving you a food basket or something because you're worth it. Like, because they know exactly who you are. And you just down. Some people really just like to kick people when they're down.
For sure.
And nobody likes that. I don't care what you poke it at. Nobody likes that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, what is your purpose of even interacting with someone else if that's going to be your interaction? Like, I hear them.
No, that's real though, because they say misery love company. So
Right.
it's crazy because it's like y'all seen that movie because I'm a movie head. Y'all seen that movie with the guy, he got bit by a lion. Y'all seen that movie?
Wait, by a lion?
Yeah, he was out there like Russell Crowe in there. He was
Just
out
seen
there.
it a few months ago. He had two sons.
Yeah,
that joint was hard.
That shit was cold.
It was. I can't think of the movie title.
I forget the name of that movie. What's the name of that movie?
Because his son ended up turning into a superhero.
Yeah, he got like the lion powers and whatnot.
Because I think he's an X-Man.
He either X-Man or Marvel, one of them.
Craven,
G. Craven. That's Craven.
Yo, that joint was. I watched it a couple of times.
So it's on that though. Like in the end of the movie though, remember how to love his brother. his brother always wanted to be, you know what I'm saying, be
Wanted to
around.
be
Yeah,
him.
he wanted to be him.
Yeah.
But then his brother had another power. He was a
Right.
chameleon.
Flip.
He flipped it. So instead of having the superpowers where he could do amazing type stuff, he was a chameleon now.
He's like, you're not
Turned dead in, he turned into his brother.
Right. He's like, you're not gonna be able to stop me.
And that's how I see it. That's somebody who they enlightened. They got the knowledge, they know enough.
Right.
But they'll go to the chameleon though.
Right.
They'll play the I don't know game. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
I don't know what you mean. That just came to my mind right now when you said what you just said, because they the whole time they knowing like
Great.
they know what's going on.
Yeah.
But you
That's
pretending
it.
you a chameleon though.
They'll sit and let you call yourself black all day.
All day though.
All day.
No,
All
Knowing
day.
you ain't black.
Knowing.
And then they'll laugh behind your back.
Yep.
They be cracking up.
Yep.
You don't even know. They buzzing up telling their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they be in that little secret
Uh,
room.
Yeah.
Yeah. This dude
That's
right
not
here.
something you can teach someone
Yeah.
who's in an entirely in that position. Like you can't expect Caucasians. I mean, at the end of the day, you really can't expect. And I'm agreeing with you, brother. You can't expect Caucasians to
It's
be
not
able
the-
to tell you how
Yeah.
to do you.
It's not
Right.
their
You're the
responsibility.
original man.
Yeah.
Right.
It's our
They
ancestors.
don't have any words for that.
They ain't got it.
It's our ancestors' responsibility to pass
Sure.
it down. It's
They
not
try
their
to use by
responsibility.
example, you know.
People be asking me that. all
They
the
can
time.
only do so much though.
Yeah, exactly.
They recessive, so they knowing like, you know, they see the sun coming outside popping out. They know the heat index up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They trying to, they instead of going into the cave, they like low key just like going into the shade. You know what I'm saying?
Because they
Put
want to
an
be out.
umbrella up.
Yeah, they want to be out, but they
wanna be
can't-
outside.
Yeah, but they can't be out too
Can't
much.
be outside. Heat index up
Or
right now.
creating the shade with the clouds and all that.
On some Bill Gates type.
Come on, you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cujo, they ask me that all the time. They be like, "Well, why we don't learn this in high school? Why we don't learn this in school?"
Yeah.
I said because that's it gets to the point that you at your end point now. After 12th grade, you at your end point.
Yeah.
Now you got to take over.
Yeah.
It ain't up to them to keep on
Giving you-
educating
yeah,
you. and-
Indoctrinate.
You know what I'm saying? Now they indoctrinate you for 12 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gone. You know, right now your mind just brainwashed. So they're like, why do you don't treat us economics? Why you don't treat us the more physically? It's not their responsibility.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be the end of them.
Yeah, it's not part
It's
of
they
the
end.
Rockefeller
They
system.
end over with. Right. Rockefeller system.
It's not part of this.
General Board Education. It's like them teaching us will destroy them at the same time.
I feel like they teaching you how to be a worker, not to free yourself.
Yeah. Work for us in the
Yeah.
factory or something.
Put them chains on.
Yeah.
They invisible chains, but
Shut up and
you
dribble.
know,
Yeah.
14 years if you add in pre.
right? Yeah, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
that's why I said before the 12,
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my head like, man, can't be preschool, then first grade. Yeah, it's man.
And then you go to, I think about it, you go to college, right?
Yeah.
Then you get indoctrinated more. They be like, oh yeah, DEI, pride, you know, like
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
take over. Like,
It's always a program leading to another
Oh,
program.
yeah. Big
It's
one.
always, you feel me? It's always another program. It's always another black fraternity, sorority. I don't get it how you saying you African American, you black, Pan African, then you saying you Greek now.
Five things.
How you like gumbo or something, but nobody got the recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know how you got made, but
This is right.
you all these different things and whatnot. Just,
but if you look
that
at
shit is crazy.
the old Greek coins, they Moors.
Got Moors on
They
there.
Moors.
They got locks in their hair.
Lots
Yeah,
of big
the old
noses.
Greek
Yeah.
coin, naughty hair.
Big
You
lips.
look
Yeah.
at it, you
Not
be like,
not
dang, that's a Greek. I'm like, so you gotta go back. You
Gotta
know
go
what I'm saying?
back,
You
man.
gotta go back before the Europeans was Greek. You know, you gotta go further back.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because people love say follow the money then.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
Yeah, tell us the
real.
real.
Really follow the money. Go to the real money, the gold coins, the silver coins with the Moorish faces on them.
and you put out a post the other day about 300.
300.
They was Moors.
They was
Speaking
all
of the Greeks, you just said, right? Just the other day, I was telling you this, Cujo. Got a lady on the phone. She said she lives off Mooring. It was a Mooring Drive or something, right? And her last name was Morea or something like that.
Oh.
Mm.
So after I took care of business, I say, "Do you know the Moor?" you know about the Moors? You know who the Moors are, so we still here. She said, well, no, my husband was Greek. I said, oh, Moorish. Or, you know, at least the name is anyway.
Yeah.
You may be modern European, but so she's like, no. So you talking about history? I said, yeah, some real history. So you might want to look into it. That last name that you got and the street.
That street that you're at.
Right.
No coincidence.
Right. And this happened on Holy Day last week.
Wow.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, happy Holy Day, by the way.
Happy Holy Day.
And I'm a truck driver, so you know what I'm saying. I see like townhomes and village, maybe like Moreland, Morocco, Indiana.
Yeah.
And I just passed going to Missouri, Cahokia. Yeah, right there.
Mhm.
Exit 6. Put it in my head.
Yeah.
When I go by there, I'm like, exit 6 is right there, like 4 hours away.
The land, it's in the land.
Right
The
here.
land
I'm like,
name.
man, it's everywhere, boy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But you know that's why they gotta keep us locked in these
Everything is
phones
like-
though. They gotta keep
everything
us
is-
distracted.
our names.
Yeah,
Everything is
Yeah.
our names. The streets, the cities, everything.
Everything.
You just go drive one day and just see.
Yeah.
And read the signs.
The signs is
Yeah,
there.
the signs gonna say more of this, more of that.
Yeah.
Or it might give a like a so-called Native American name,
Yeah.
tribal name or
Right,
something.
right.
Choctaw,
Yeah.
or something like
We
that.
got a bunch of those
It'd
in
be
Washington.
crazy.
For
What's
real.
up? Yo, remember?
You learned that too. I lived right off Moore Street, but they put an E on it. But
Yeah.
essentially,
They try to cover it
if
up
it's ours,
slightly.
you know, it's like that. The programs. It's like they put the ideas in front of our face, but
Yeah.
if if it's yours, how do you want it to be?
Wow.
You know, if you can do it better, do it better. You know what I'm saying? And of course, nobody can do everything alone. So that's why bills like this, I really am grateful for. I appreciate it. And just the RBPublications.com for real, especially because that's like so just
Strong.
I can't even describe
Yeah.
like how strong I am.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on RV today.
Yeah.
Publication.
For sure.
Earlier this weekend.
But it definitely takes a lot. It definitely takes a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's really down to simplifying it, right? You know,
Yeah.
once you get over certain humps, you know, it's like, well, time to simplify it. Instead of doing that program, it should have been this. You know, how can I roll this out or partner with them so they can fund me so I can and bring in my own team, and then we can really, you know, connect with the people, because it's a lot of the programs some of them are good ideas, right? But there's no connection to the people. Like the people don't feel connected to it because it's not, they just aren't connecting with it or can't see themselves it working for them, and everybody's going through something essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's different approaches that people need. I mean, people buy different products because of different marketing, you know, essentially like you.
You know what's interesting? Watch what you said about the connection. I'm just thinking about that word right there, the connection, because when our phone ain't connected to the Wi-Fi, we automatically know it's a problem. We start searching for a connection,
Hotspot.
a hotspot. Whole time, the hottest spot on the planet is the Morris Science. That's the hottest spot you could get. But it's like we ain't looking at that's the hot spot. Everybody else been using our hot spot for the free though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the free, they've been using our hot spot. The more science is really the beam. It's really the beam. Whole time you was talking about something yesterday. I think it was yesterday, the day before.
Yeah.
You was talking about science. And I was just telling my children, I was telling them we was in the car and we was sitting at the red light, right? Y'all know how like they got the signs tucked off where it's like no turn on red, but it's tucked off or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, y'all see that sign over there? It say no turn on red, but it's tucked off though, but you can see it though.
Because like I feel like all these signs, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
All these signs are starting to say that do not turn on red now. It used to not be like that.
It
You know,
used
Just a couple years ago.
It's I just graduated from an ambassadorship program in my city,
Okay.
and it's called, it's an environmental program. And one of the, we would have sessions. It was like from late April to June. And one of they bring like, just to learn about how our city works.
Right.
And, you know, it's a republic, so without educating the people, and they even gave us a $600 stipend for doing it, which I didn't even expect. But, yeah, so they brought one of the people from the Department of Transportation out. And he gave a whole, you know, not a spiel. I mean, this guy is passionate about safety. He's passionate about, because there's a lot more pedestrians. Like, people want to get active again. You know, people are tired of being, for lack of a better word, obese, and, you know, want to get active again like how it was when we were younger, right? So we're riding bikes, we're doing this, we're doing that. And a lot of people, I don't know if you guys have been in conveyances lately, but not everybody follows the regular traffic laws. They got to get their certification of sorts. So it's necessary sometimes so he took us on a tour around our city. And he was like, okay, so what we did to help prevent accidents, because you might not know about how many accidents may happen, you know, because you're safe with God, Allah, because you following God. But some people, you know, get caught up out there. And you wouldn't know that until looking at the stats of like how many accidents there were and da-da-da. So the no turn on red they started doing so pedestrians wouldn't get hit so much. And like they'll have like cross lights that where the pedestrian will go first, you know, it's still red on your side. They'll change the roads a little bit to widen it out. They'll change the markings on the road. I mean, he took us on a whole tour. It was amazing. Yeah.
Nah, for real.
I love it.
Yeah. Got a double bike lane out here.
And it's a lifetime thing. It's not just like you graduating out. It's like, no, now you have a platform and potential to get city funding, and you don't have to sign not one contract because you're a city or you're who you are. You know what I'm saying? You don't work for the city. You're just a ambassador, you know.
Yeah, they got them. Awesome, they got them tucked off.
Yeah,
they got them signs tucked off now. Cause like if you do turn on red, it's $150 now.
Yeah. They got camera.
They got camera. This how they getting slick now. They got the camera there. But it's like yeah, but it's like it's either there or it's like on the ground, like on the pole, like over there going to the gardens. They got like a pole right there, but it's like behind like a tree, kind of like. So it's like camo. Yeah. But all about the they put the sign. It's the sign. My point is the signs are there,
right?
But it's like they know it's there,
right?
But they know people in their phone. They distracted. They got music up.
I ain't gonna lie.
They ain't listening, and they gonna turn on that right and go $150.
Right every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all statutes, so code. It's all regulations.
Yeah.
It ain't even law.
No touch rule.
I just seen that.
No touch here.
Everywhere.
It's another statute.
You can't touch your cell phone.
Another statute.
Don't touch it. If the police ride up to you and they see you even do like this, scroll.
They gonna keep doing it. They gonna keep doing it. Noble Drew said you're gonna be taxed to death.
Actually, on that, somebody asked this question. Moors are not to pay taxes when they step foot in any store on their land, America. So why some are enforcing no taxes and a lot are not doing this work? We'll just put that out to everybody if anybody has an answer for that.
That's multi-layered though. Like you said earlier. The Hindustanis, you said you went to the store?
Yeah.
And they didn't tax y'all because they seen that y'all was genuine. Y'all was in y'all proper person.
Yeah.
So they ain't do that.
You also can't expect a corporation to bow down and say, I'm not going to take this tax from these people. I mean, truth of the matter is the word itself, sales tax. Are you the seller or the buyer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not going to just say, okay, well, I'm not going to take this tax from these people. Right. And unless you know what you know, right, presenting. Right. Now, a couple years ago, before the whole COVID madness, you know what I'm saying, I was turbaned up almost, or fezzed up almost every day. And when I went outside and went to a store, I presented my nationality ID. Hey, right here, say no tax. Not obligated. Do you honor that? Oh, we can figure it out. And they were, you know what I'm saying? No tax.
Mhm.
And 9 times out of 10, it wasn't but some pennies, but it was the principle.
Right.
It's the principle.
You know what I mean? So, it's not so much as to that question. It's not so much as, how do we get it done? You're talking about unhonorable people doing business and you're expecting them to be honorable.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, 9 times out of 10, they don't even know.
Right.
They have no clue. They're just doing what they was told to do, which is collect that tax.
Right. So
So
been past them.
exactly. So it's on you, just like the prophet said, just like the Constitution is. It's on you to enforce that.
Mhm.
It ain't up to nobody else.
Yeah.
You gotta know it. And you can only be what you know.
Yeah, you gotta know it, and you gotta exercise it to know it.
Exactly.
You got to. You got to.
Just love.
I think tax is, I like the idea of taxes, because not everybody brings the same amount of service to the society that we live in. So certain pooling money for things that are helping is a good idea. But when it's about how those taxes are spent, which is the main thing. So I like what you said when you said, what are, what are you presenting? Like, who are you to make them want to honor that?
Right. Right.
Like, why are you asking for no taxes when this is going to a pool where we pay for Social Security for people that are disabled, where we pay for the working class's salaries? Who you gonna call when you fall out on the floor and don't know CPR, nobody was around for CPR, you're gonna call us. So, it's a good idea, but when it comes down to it, it really is all about getting to know who's in office, having coffee with certain mayors and politicians that are in your area to know, just really, keeping it real with yourself. Like, what do I like about my society? Because there are things that I like, but what could be better? Not everything has to change at once, but I understand the idea of how it wasn't always too much this cubicle way where we had families, where family names mattered, because the Holy Trinity was still a valued thing, and they passed down certain morals and raised you in a certain way. They put you on that farm. You grew your own food. You built your own house. Your granddad built their house. Raised your parents in it. Gave the grandmother gave birth on the floor. So when that is dwindled out as not popular, then it starts to look like the cookie cutter taxes aren't valuable. But wouldn't you want to be compensated if you were bringing a service, just if that was just what you and your family did as a trade?
Islam, this is the thing with that. This is the thing with that. See, the taxes, you got to go back to the Constitution. Article 1, Section 10. See, once you go back to the law, and it says that taxes can only be levied by Congress. So this is what we got to get back on point when it comes to knowing it and exercising it. There's nothing wrong with the taxes, but nobody has the authority to tell Moorish American nationals, I'm taxing you on your land. See, that's where the problem is, because people, they think that the taxes are all bogus, but they're not all bogus. If we have if our own government is running it, cool, that's sweet, because we know where it's going. To add on to what you're talking about, hospitals, healthcare, dental care, schools, but it's going to a foreign corporation, which is funding human trafficking.
Right.
So since
Sending money elsewhere.
it's going sending the money to Israel and Ukraine and Croatia and stuff like that.
The prison system.
Yeah, and that's where it's really got to stick back down to the Constitution, because without the Constitution, before the government, people gonna be out here like Moore was saying, like, why should I honor you, even though I know you coming with the real? I got police on my side.
Right.
I got the SWAT team. I got the CIA. I got all the alphabets working with me. You just one person, so I'm on that with you. I ain't gotta honor that card you talking about, and that's where the strength come in numbers at.
Yeah.
That's where the strength. We need the numbers, because that's where the strength at.
That's where their numbers is at.
Yeah.
So, and it's a number game.
It's a number game, and it's slowly they dwindling though. Real life, they dwindling. But just coming back to the constitutional for the government, recognizing like, all right, y'all don't have authority or jurisdiction to tell us nothing.
Right.
This our land.
Especially when you're not from the land.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They not indigenous to these lands. They have no allodial claim to the Americas at all. So taxes is good, but like the prophet said, you're gonna be taxed to death because you allowing these people to cook up a tax every other day. You got phone tax. They got I just saw they got an air tax now.
I was just about to say.
They got a climate tax.
I was just about to say.
They got something, a climate tax in LA right now. They got climate tax. They call it a climate footprint tax.
Insane.
They got that now. Diabolical. Then in New York, I just seen they got a tax they just implemented where they're charging people, like if you jaywalk, they're putting you now in criminal court now. Criminal court. Just seen a hyper European talking about that. They putting you in criminal court. So they making infraction unconstitutional criminal now.
It's all about the money. They'll have to catch me.
Yeah, they but see, you know, if you give somebody that's, you know, just a tyrant,
Right.
if you keep giving them inches, they just gonna keep being a tyrant.
Right.
So eventually you just gotta take the hit.
So hey, let's make this law. Let's just put some emotion and see what they do.
Cause look, how can you can't change nobody's nature. I'm watching the Animal Channel yesterday, right? Animal Planet. You cannot domesticate a crocodile.
At all.
I don't care what you do to this crocodile. It is wild. It's always gonna be like that. You could try to feed it, raise it from a baby. You could try, but it's still their nature.
Still gonna be wild, even if it is somewhat domesticated.
Still gonna be wild.
It still could snap on you.
Don't put your hand in his mouth.
Right. See what happens.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I be saying. Like it be like people, they look at people's like intent sometimes with too much to me. On some, well, I'm a nice person, so you should be a nice person. Everybody ain't working like that.
That ain't the way of the world.
That ain't people. You're not working like, oh, I'm a good person. I want to treat you like a good person, but then you're not looking at what principles do they stand on.
Right. That's like
or they nature.
Somebody saying everybody deserves respect. I don't think that.
Yeah.
I think you gotta earn.
You gotta earn
respect.
You gotta earn. You can't get my respect if you didn't earn it.
You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. I'm gonna give you respect off GP just because I'm me. I'm gonna give you respect. But as soon as I see you slight, you dead.
That's it.
You dead on me. Ain't no. Nah, you didn't really mean. Nah, crocodile gonna bite you. A snake gonna bite you. They got how many parables they got about snakes? She ran the snake over. Yeah. The snake didn't get, you know what I'm saying? She took it to the crib, healed it, fed it, all this other good stuff. Still ate her. Still bit her. And she looked at the snake, talking to her like, why'd you bite me? She thought, I'm a snake.
Right.
But even in that story, though, the whole time, like, we know the snake is us, though. The snake is wisdom.
Yeah.
But even in that, you still gonna learn something. You can't, sometimes people, the nature, go to nature. You could tell, like, fam, you can't trust that like that.
Yeah.
Nah, you can't really, it is their nature to go against.
That's why I be like, I'm like an eagle. I'm gonna look at it from afar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check you out. I ain't gotta respect you. I'm just looking at you.
Just looking.
You pray now. You already pray.
I'm
You
gonna watch
don't even know it. You pray.
I'm gonna watch
I'm
you.
watching you from
3 miles
yeah,
out.
above.
I'm gonna watch.
Words out view on you. And as soon as you say I'm black, I got you.
I see. Now I gotta keep you over.
I got you.
I gotta keep you
So when
there.
you say I'm African American,
Yeah.
It's
I
funny
got
because they don't say anything at all.
Native American, I got you.
Yeah, I gotta keep you there. I gotta. As
I
soon as
got
I
you.
see that you on
As
there,
soon as you say I'm swooping down in, claws out.
I'm gonna leave him. I'm gonna leave him over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave him.
See, but this is my area right here.
Hey, whole time, look. Right, look. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Get out of here. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No turn on red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you now. You gotta get out of my area. You
Yeah.
know what
I
I'm
can't.
saying?
Yeah, I can't have in my area, my zone. Nah.
You gotta go to zone 6.
Yeah, you gotta take that over there somewhere. Yeah, dang. It's the nature, man. Once you see the nature, it's like, don't fight. That's knowing yourself, though.
That's it.
Don't go against your nature. I seen a European. This hybrid dude, he was with a Moor chick, right? Y'all seen that video?
What was it?
Damn.
What was it?
This dude, he with a Moor chick. So his nature, you know, hybrid Europeans, their nature is to eat raw meat.
I did.
Oh, yeah,
You seen that video?
Yeah.
Man.
I ain't seen it. I
I don't know when they shot the video, boy. All I know is their
Get it back.
nature, their nature is to eat bloody meat.
Right. Restaurant?
Nah, they at the crib. They in the crib right now.
Man, ran.
It ain't, nah, it's bloody. It's bloody this whole
Fresh
time.
out the
She
package.
on the out the package.
Fresh out the package on the bread.
On everything.
Hamburger.
Man, try this dish. Talking to the boy white chick, right?
Right.
Man, just try this. Put this on the bread. You know what I'm saying, this is a German dish. Okay, I'll try it.
How is it? Oh, it's good.
She stopped maxing it though. She chewing all on it, and his nature, that's his nature though.
Yeah.
His nature, like, yeah, it gets better each bite, right? It's better. I'm looking at her like, then the dude at the end of the video, funny as hell, he was on something. You all right? You need to get out. You give us a call or something. We come get saved.
Right.
Fam, it's their nature to do that.
Yeah.
They not harmonious like we are with nature.
Not at all.
We hospitable. You feel me? We'll give the clothes off our back to somebody we care about. They go out there like craven. They trying to kill the lion out there in the safari. They ain't on what we on. We trying to, our people so busy trying to blend in with them. Like, nah.
It's one of the biggest problems.
Nah, you see the Mexicans, they stick tight. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, they stick tight. They not trying to, unless you like, all right, well, you can come around because you own what we own.
Right.
So-called black people, they so busy, like they talking too much, telling everybody everything, telling your plans. Then they like, everybody's welcome. But then you crying because Post Malone then jacked the stack, ran off with the plug.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber then ran off with the plug. Not what you mad. You let him in.
Right. Everybody invited to the cookout.
Yeah, everybody got invited to the cookout. You don't see
Everybody can't come eat.
Yeah.
Everybody can't come to the table.
Yeah. You don't.
That's
It's sinners.
Like, yeah.
You let them in.
Right.
And now they're in
You supposed to be
to
hospitable.
sing.
Yeah, we just want to play a song or two. Nah, you can't play a song or two. You ain't invited in here. You don't see Mexicans, Dominicans, Haitians. You don't see all them mixing up. Nah, they stick tight, man. They own what they own because they unified. They like, nah, you got to be what we own. You got to link up with where we at. We ain't doing all that. Y'all coming around trying to, nah. Ain't none of that, man. That's what I be saying, like so-called black people. They seeking validation 24/7, 365. Talking too much about all their business. Then they want to be everybody invited to the cookout.
We are the world.
It's
We
just,
are
and
the
that
They on
just
that.
show how important that one missing puzzle piece. I mean, in an electrical hookup, it could be one little wire that really could turn all your lights on. And
Yeah.
that to me is nationality and knowing that you have one.
Yeah.
That, man,
Islam.
my whole entire world, I'm like, everything's almost perfect. But this one thing has me so uneasy.
Yeah.
I'm on a seeking journey.
Yeah.
And luckily I seek through God, but there's a lot of other things out there to get lost in. But Yo, that's that one missing puzzle piece is nationality and knowing that you have one. Like, and the Dominicans, the Mexicans, like they identify with people who look like them.
Yeah.
You know, and so they can see their flag and not even, you know, like have any sort of confusion in the wiring because, and they know things are bigger than their flag and stuff, but it's just like they're waiting on us too.
You know what's interesting? Islam. You know what's interesting? I work out at this gym, right? So I'll be coming in there with all our flags. Like I got the Mexican flag, I got the Dominican flag, Panamanian flag, all our flags, right? So the whole time, boom, I go into the gym. I got the Mexican demo on. It's a big Mexican flag, right? But I got it folded up like a do-rag. Right. So I go in the gym and I be experimenting. So the gym is like our people, I'm saying all of us in there, Mexicans and Moors in there, right? Who are Moors too. So I go up in there on purpose. I'm on that just to see what they on, right? Fam. When I went in there this time, because normally I go in there with this on, my shemagh on. So I go in, I'm not finna switch up. I go in there. The reaction, Cujo, the reaction was like, even the guy at the counter, he was like, "You Mexican? I didn't know you was Mexican." I was like, "Nah, I'm Moorish American." He was like, "Oh, okay." That was just the dude. I'm coming in the gym. He at the counter, so I go around, I'm working out and whatnot, going to the machines, and I'm looking at the people's faces, the Mexicans into their faces. And they looking at me like I want to say something to them, but I don't. I don't know.
They don't know how you gonna react.
Yeah,
they like, is he Mexican? So they started, it was crazy because they started coming around me though. They started giving me daps. And I felt the energy now. I'm giving you daps now. Because they like, I don't know what you are. But you got our flag on.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you got our flag. So they looking at me like, you got our flag on, but I don't know, are you so-called black or what are you?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm more, and I told them I'm Moorish American. Nah, I go in there, they see me, I'm giving them, what's up? Shit, K-Boss, what's up? Because they sing the flag.
Yeah.
They sing the flag alone.
Yeah. I read across a book in my library that I always wanted to read since I was younger. It's called Houses of Puebla. And on the cover, it's a big Moorish art, but it's all about towns in Mexico. And it was a great book. It was like, oh my gosh, hardcover, huge it's just awesome book. So if you find Houses of Puebla, bro, because they know, because in Spanish, it's so funny. I have some Moorish, Hispanic brothers, and they already know the stuff. Because in their language, they say more. They don't say black. They say more. They say morena. They're called Moors most of the time. Like they're used to that word. So it just comes down to, I mean, we all love school, you know. So it's just like, wow, I think that's dope that they identify with you. You identify with them. For sure. Inspired. Like now you could come in there like with Houses of Puebla and be like, yo, check this out or blah blah blah. Like that's just a whole new makeup.
For sure. I'm coming in there. Coming there with all. I'll give you the plug. It's on Amazon. It's like $10. I'm coming in there with all the Dominican, the Panamanian. I'm coming to Trinidadian one. I'm coming there with all of them. So they be looking at me like, I don't know what this dude is. I don't know what is it. What is this guy? On purpose though, but I see like once they see that unity with the flag, that get people to see the sign. Like, yeah, man, I can identify with him. Even though I don't know what he is, he repping what we repping. So we rocking with him.
I walk around my neighborhood. We got hella Mexicans in my neighborhood. And I just be looking. Sometimes I just be wondering. I be like, do they know? Like, do they know?
They be knowing, bro.
They know.
And I be wondering, like, what's the percentage? You know, like, do they know? Or are they just like still asleep? You know, most of them, at least in Washington, I'm from, like, you know, they have, you know.
But their sleep is different than our sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their sleep is more from the cultural aspect. Not you know, going to McDonald's instead of eating beans and rice or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, even when we went to Lauder, going back to the taxes thing. Because I was, oh, you guys take tax exempt? Oh, you have your card? Like, just like that. No debating it. No,
Right.
let me see where's the tax number and all that stuff. None of that.
Wow. Cause they know.
Straight up.
But yeah, again, that's Lauder. So they deal with Moors all the time. So they know, Whereas you have certain, actually I was gonna read this thing here. Profits warnings today. We are going to be taxed to death. Today, the average hardworking American has become so accustomed to paying taxes until they coined the phrase, the only thing certain in life is death and taxes. Yet, less than 100 years ago, when Noble Drew Ali warned we are going to be taxed to death, none of these accepted ex post facto taxes existed. Account receivable tax, building permit tax, CDL license tax, cigarette tax, corporate income tax, dog license tax, federal income tax, federal unemployment tax, fishing license tax, food license tax, fuel permit tax, gasoline tax, hunting license tax, inheritance tax, interest expense tax, inventory tax, liquor tax, luxury tax, marriage license tax, Medicare tax, property tax, real estate tax, service charge tax, social security tax, road usage tax, sales tax, recreational vehicle tax, school tax, state income tax, state unemployed tax, telephone federal excise tax, telephone state and local tax, telephone usage charge tax, utility taxes, vehicle license registration tax, vehicle sales tax, watercraft registration tax, well permit tax, workers' compensation tax, telephone federal universal service fee tax.
What is that?
Yo, man.
What is that?
Telephone federal, state, and local surcharge tax. Telephone minimum usage surcharge tax. Telephone recurring and non-recurring charges tax. Tax to death.
That's wow.
What book was that?
This was from this is a Pleasant Bay book. Moorish American National Government. You can get it on their site. And this is it has some of the writings for the oral statements.
No doubt.
It has the oral statements and then some of the Moorish literature in there.
Is that the same website as the other one?
Huh?
Is that the same website as the other
No,
one?
it's different.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different one. Yeah, I don't know the site offhand, but I'll let you know. Yeah.
All that unnecessary tax. They just sit and just create it, just make up. We can get taxed for this, we can get money for this, we can get money. It's just unconstitutional. Like the stuff you were reading, I was just like, what? It don't even add up. It just
That's us, that's us not knowing about our heritage and what the law is. And just sitting around and letting people take control of what is ours. That's ours. We supposed to know this stuff because now you giving power to the government. You just gave your birthright to the government.
To the fictional government too.
Right. And you got president after president after president. They even told you, the president's told you. The worst thing you can do is give your power to the government. Because government means mind control. Control your mind. That's what government means. That's what you just gave up your power to the government right there.
So we're controlling the masses, man.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to our people.
So if you don't know the law about we the people,
I'll put this question out. Are we in that worst is yet to come time? Are we in that worst is yet to come time? Yes, this one.
It was this one too.
Yeah. It depends on what we're looking at as worse. You know, from the aspect of tax to death, it's crazy right now, right? Talking about the signage and them hiding stuff and them going over and beyond to make sure we don't figure this stuff out. Yes, you know, we're in that worst time, but I think that's more so for the ones who are lacking the knowledge than the ones who actually have the knowledge. Because the ones that have the knowledge, you know, we're always looking for the worst because we can learn from the worst. You know, we're not shunning the worst. You know, we're embracing the worst because we know that something's gonna come out of it. You know, something has to come out of it. You know. Peace. Peace.
Peace.
yeah, that's dope. You people always learn from the worst. That's a good.
Yeah. Just being able to learn from it. You know. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
It's the worst best to come. I mean,
Are we in the time of worse is yet to come?
as far as our people knowing who they is, oh yeah, I think we far behind. As far as the masses, our people knowing who we is, like the masses, they don't know who we is. They don't know exactly. They don't know we more. So they know what black is and what this is and tribes is. They don't know, like they connected to something that's. I was just talking to a man at the flea market like last week, and I, you know what I'm saying, I had my little Trump hat on, you know what I'm saying, just to start a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I want to start a conversation. I'm in this flea market. I'm walking in the flea market. Got the Trump hat, make America great again. So I had this old cat. He in the booth. He come from out this booth. The Mexican guy. He tried to set me up.
Right.
He tried to, yeah. Hey, look at this guy. He got this hat on. You know what I'm saying? He said, make America great again. That hat stupid. I said, I ain't say nothing. I said, go ahead, elaborate. You know, well, America been great. I'm like, yeah, you're right. America been great. You know, we always been great. And he was like, so why you got that hat on? I said, because we going back to greatness when we was royalty. We going back to when we was kings, queens, and emperors. You know, he was like, you couldn't say nothing then. You know what I'm saying? He was like, that's some Trump stuff. I'm like, nah, this is our stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is our stuff because Trump trying to tell you, go back to when you was royalty. You know what I'm saying? In so many words, but y'all ain't catching on to it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's telling you the freedom of speech. He holding that down. Freedom, the Second Amendment, right to bear arms. You know, freedom to stay in your privacy. You know,
The law.
yeah, freedom.
That's all you talking about.
You know,
Yeah.
no search, no seizures.
Okay.
He keeping all your inalienable rights, which is what? God-given rights, human rights. He ain't taking none of them away. He's like, man, we ain't giving that up. They like, well, we're gonna have to, gun rights. You know, what you gonna do about gun?
Just told you.
Trump
Second
like, we
Amendment.
ain't giving that up.
Yeah.
That's an inalienable right.
Second
You
Amendment.
know what I'm saying? That's a human right. We can't do nothing with that. So I'm telling the man, like, we been great. You know what I'm saying? We got, do you know who Montezuma is? Like, that's a Moorish emperor. That's a Moorish king, bro. Like, we got plenty. Do you know Queen from Cali is?
Yeah, Khalifa.
That's a Moorish queen, yeah, Queen Khalifa. Queen, Nanny, you know, like, we've been great.
Yeah.
Like, we just going back. We just gotta go back to where we, you know what I'm saying? Well, our ancestors taught us that we kings and queens.
Mm-hmm. It's only gonna be a handful say though.
Yep.
That's it. Can't say everybody though. Some gonna have to just.
That's what it is.
But it was just to spark the conversation, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It was like, okay, yeah, I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the conversation, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, because I be flying, you know me, because what I be flying?
Flying the flags.
I be flying
like I say, flags. Ain't even one flag.
I got the Confederate flag outside, my neighbors going
you had
crazy.
The Confederate flag. You had
My
the Moorish
neighbors
flag.
going crazy.
You had a.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
then I'll pop the purple Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that was a Confederate flag too, huh? You know. I'm like, man, you know.
The messed up.
POW flag. All the flags.
The camel back on the question, you said, what, are we in the worst of, is the worst times, or are we in the times that the worst come right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
I think it's perspective.
Mm.
And I mean that by, it's, the state of mind is gonna dictate what you're seeing anyway, number one. And then number two is it the worst? Well, that's also gonna be predicated on what do you consider to be worse? What do you consider to be the best right now? Because we all can see that there's madness going on in the world. It's been like that for long before we even got here. You know what I'm saying? The same things keep repeating itself. It should keep, as they say, it's a circle. It's a spiral. We keep seeing it, the same thing. So it's perspective from the standpoint of what is it that you actually want to see? Do you want to see what's better? But then you got to be part of that creation. You got to be part of that mindset that's going to bring in to the current paradigm, you know, those good things, those great things. And if that's not where your mind is, then you're going to continue to see the worst coming. Period. That's just my estimation. It's my idea.
It's not. The next one is in the time of the prophet, were Moors more free than we are now.
Nah, it's a state of mind. Like Moore just said, it's a state of mind. Freedom is a state of mind. It's not more free or nothing like that. It's just your state of mind dictates
How free you are.
how free you are. Like it'll people will be wild as hell. Like if you seen somebody outside, like Tahiti was talking about the other day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so-called black people or people in general walking outside. Like you leave out this library, walk outside, you see people in chains.
Yeah.
Like you see that. Like this ain't a movie, this like real life. You like, damn.
It's like that movie where
I'm
you
seeing-
putting the shades on.
Yeah, you see, like you put the shades on, you see they got chains on right now. A lot of people will see that, they probably crack up because they can't even comprehend. Like I'm really seeing people in chains.
Yeah.
There's some people that'll flip, they'll be like, man, I'm not over there, so what I'm doing right.
Yeah.
What they do wrong.
What they do wrong.
What they do wrong to get chained up. A lot of people, they need to see that. They need to see horror like that.
Yeah.
Like for them to see something traumatic like that, for them to wake up and see like, damn,
That reality check.
I ain't gonna do what they did.
Is that the Moors that's in limbo? You know what I'm saying? They like in the middle though.
Yeah.
They don't know
Yeah.
where to go. Like,
Yeah.
they kind of see them in chains, but you know, they vision
Not really
blurry, like
doing
they
it,
can't
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, Walking Dead. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. I see zombies everywhere.
Yeah.
I like, oh my God, I'm in sometimes in certain areas, certain zones,
Definitely.
you just,
They
it's a
start wilding.
zombie apocalypse.
Zombies outside.
It is. It's Walking Dead.
Like in centers though.
Things that would never become. I mean, honestly, the post-COVID thing really still poses a big challenge in my perspective as well, because with the zombie thing, because it's like before, you know, we knew when they were trying to devalue us and we stood on our, you know, so-called, for lack of a better word, square. You know, and we'd be like, nah, that's some BS. They about to do what's our food? Nah. And we used to actually have you know, we used to hold our weight and pull our weight, but when we start letting ideas like perspective, thought, mindset of media and rumors, because you know how when they start spreading rumors that you know aren't true, and you hear that, and you like, I know that's not true, but like, you know, it really, it got really bad, but now they're trying to, you know, the scientific vaccine thing, or excuse me, jab thing, they made everybody into like big so-called, what do they call? We love our primary care workers. They made them all get the shot or they was gonna fire them.
Crazy.
And then we wouldn't have had anybody but the ones who were gonna be heroes and sheroes out of that.
Exactly.
You know, but they all got that vaccine, and I see most of them who did are very aggressive and very sensitive at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like you really just have to say God bless you to those people, literally. Like, I don't know what you're going through, but God bless you. And you run, girl. Just run. Because, I mean, you go back to the drawing board and you get in your office and you, look, I'm doing some independent contracting around here. Like, I live here. It's something we got to do about that, you know? So,
But it's just the
I see that
darkness
too.
for me. It's the triple state of darkness.
Thank you.
You know, so I do have a lot of compassion. I used to work for the public, so I have a lot of compassion for people and patience for our people who wish to seek the knowledge and point them into the direction, in the proper directions in which they come questioning for certain knowledge. So it is a different perspective in life. So, and then who you are and your moral compass and your superpowers, you can be able to aid them and guide them and point them in the right direction that they need to seek light of. Because it is different levels. It is levels.
Islam. See, one thing, Islam, to add on to that, the different levels is like going back to Sinners, the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people perspective with that movie, they see stuff just like it was just straight vampires, and some people thought it was like a dance movie. But low key though, it was a lot of Jews inside there, like in little scenes, like when they was driving the car, and then they was all in the car, and then you seen them like rolling down the street, and then the only people that you saw in the chain gang were the so-called slaves.
Exactly.
All those fields was being worked by the Moors that stayed in that town. Nobody else had chains on. They was all free. So you talking about to the question, they're talking about the freedom. Everybody in that movie was free.
Yeah.
They had their own community. The only people that had a gun on them was from the slave chain gang. And that's a perspective that people, I think, should relook at that movie. Like everybody wasn't 12 years a slave. Everybody wasn't chained up. People had their own. It wasn't just in Black Wall Street in Tulsa. It wasn't just out there. It was everywhere. We were free. We were always free, but it's the mentality that you get yourself in the chain gang. You got a gun on you, telling you, dictating what you want to do, and that's so-called jail.
And another perspective too is that when I look at people, when I read people, and I say, first you have to know what side of the fence you was on. You're like your family, and your people, and your roots, and your ancestors. You got to know what side of fighting the fence you was on at first, because now you just walking around zombie mode. You in darkness. By the time you narrate that trade name and go back all the way down to the ancestors, you had some slaves, bro. You had some property. You you part of this.
Yeah.
A problem. Your family is a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And energy connects. So once you say it out your mouth, you got that spell. You said it out of your mouth, you inherited that title.
Yeah.
It's an inheritance. So I mean, like, geez, I got compassion.
It's all good.
It's compassion for me. That's my root. That's what those and the principles, you know, and the principles are like, it's the principles for me. I just swear, live it.
Yes.
You have to live it. You have to live it. Like, there's no other option. Love, peace, truth, freedom.
That's it. That's it.
The next question was, how long does it take to detox the black?
How long does it
Detox
take?
the black.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say,
depends
man,
on who it is.
depending on who it is,
Depends
though.
on who it is.
Depending on who it
There's
is.
certain Moors that they drop that black immediately once they find out that they're
Yeah.
Moors. There's not even
3 seconds. I'm not black.
Yeah.
That's the start.
Some
To
people,
me,
yeah, some
that's the
people,
start.
Let's just make
It's a spark.
yeah,
A
some people
light
don't.
and a spark
Yeah.
works just like that.
Some people it's gonna take something traumatic.
Yeah, because that's all they
It's gonna take.
they feel is so powerful. Like I'm black and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm blickety black.
And they don't even
and
really
it's just
be
like,
saying that no more.
well, are you black?
Yes.
Let's look at the skin tone. Let's look at like, and then let's look at some clothing article. You know, and compare the two.
Exactly.
Let's make it make sense. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Like, come on now. Are we staring?
I do see the hive mind is dying though. The hive mind of the color thing is, I see it dying though, because it's just starting to look just illiterate.
It don't make sense.
Super illiterate. Like it's starting to the hive mind of the color. Because all you gotta do is start looking around at other nationalities like Mexicans. You looking at in Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, and they waving the flag around.
Right.
Meanwhile, you talking about some red, black, and green, which connect to no land. So that hive mind of the blickety black and all that. I seen a couple yesterday.
Of course you did. It was Juneteenth.
It was so wild seeing that, G. It was like they walking
drop.
down the street. I'm leaving the shop. I'm in the car. And I see them walking. They got Juneteenth shirts on. Matching shirts on. Juneteenth. They said black, blickety black. So I'm looking at them like, yeah, they zombies, fam.
Yeah.
They just out
No
here
saving.
zombies. You got T-shirts on.
How do you request that, right? Like, how do you go up to someone in the post?
I don't even go up to them.
No, well.
Yeah, I was in the car. I'm waiting on. I'm finna slide. So I'm looking at them like matching shirts. Y'all got the matching outfits on, but then you look at other nationalities, they ain't on that. You know how much energy wasted on talking about colors? That how much energy is that? People, it's funny, G, because they be like, let's talk about manifestation and spirits and planets and crystals and all this, right? But then you be like, you spend your energy on that, but you don't look at you manifesting dead spells, like you said, casting spells. You casting negative spells. So I'll be like, I had told somebody the other day, I was like, man, I didn't know you practice black magic. I didn't know you did that. You practice witchcraft? What you mean I practice witchcraft? You talking about you black. I didn't know you practiced that. That's what you on. You practicing black magic. You stay on that. He was like,
They think
baffled.
They think
know what I'm
black
saying?
magic a good thing.
yeah, I had
magic.
because I'm seeing now you gotta hit them with something they can relate to.
Black magic.
You can relate to that. They like, hey, you practicing witchcraft?
I just don't understand why they don't understand
That's what
the
I-
theory and what that really means, and when you truly do cast that spell. You should know what that word is, that root word.
Yeah. I just
Even in Latin.
You would think they would have learned it from Malcolm X movie, man, when he went through the whole spill of it.
Yeah,
You know?
for real.
And he told Malcolm to turn to black. Look at black and read everything down the page. Everything was named. Everything. So it's like, you still want to be that? You want to apply yourself to that?
Yeah, it'd be like wasted
I have
energy.
a video of the old head. This had to be, he might have been 1960s. He said, don't call me black. It's always been, right. That's exactly what it is. It's always been derogatory.
Yeah.
So if you knew this in the 60s, 1960s.
One of the few.
Come on, man. Like, it's not that hard. It ain't rocket
It's
science.
really not. But I think
Back
people
then they
just-
considered it, that word derogatory.
so-
You were getting,
so comfortable with it.
they
Yeah,
were
comfortable
actually
with
getting
it.
into a fight. They
They
would actually get into fights with people calling them black.
Yeah,
I've had arguments.
In the
Why
1960s.
you think you're so
yeah,
great?
It's crazy.
It's like, oh, you emotional.
yeah. That's what it be
You're
though.
emotional.
Yeah, that's what it be, though.
is, you know?
That's what it really be.
I just tell them it's an outdated caste system because it's really outdated.
You
You know,
need-
there were so many people that was coming over to the
Caste
we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people after the American Revolutionary War. I mean, you gotta understand when they was writing people, they was casting two planes, white. Okay, that means you know how to read and write. Go over here, you're gonna be a secretary. Left, okay, you black, okay, you're gonna be on the B word. It wasn't even about your color at that time. It was because they was coming over of thousands. After the
Trying to put
American,
people in
yeah, after
categories.
it was.
So
You
It
had to
didn't matter
cast
who
them.
you
It
is.
didn't matter what your color was. They was moving people and turning people into places in the labor laws so fast. They wasn't caring where you come from at that time. Did you know how to read and write?
You had
If you know how to
Asians
read,
classified
if you know how to read and write, okay, good. You gonna sit over here and you work at the post now. You at the post office right now. You about to write a number of bunch of letters. That's your job. That's your labor. That's your trade.
You sharecropper.
So think about that now. Think
Yeah,
about that now.
it just be like
It's
Just be like
outdated
energy.
in the Constitution.
They talk about energy. And
So why is it still on that paper? I don't know.
they talk about
I
energy.
just.
It's a waste of energy. So when they talk, when what did he say? What he was talking about? He say, how long is it gonna take?
Yeah.
To exterminate black.
How long
Detox,
is it going to
detox.
detox? I think, man, for real though, like you get to a point where it's like you need some people, they learn different. Some people might take something traumatic to see.
Yeah.
Like I said, like if you see something traumatic, like people in chains, you're gonna be like, I don't want to be that. No, sir.
Yeah.
You can see it, you can
Like
get it in your
they
mind. Yeah, like them black people.
They black.
I'm not finna be in their category.
Yeah.
Or you got some people could be like, you just talk to them like, man, you just I can show you the dictionary, it's an adjective, fam.
Yeah.
Or sometime it might take however how you feel me, however long they've been in school, they might have to flush out like at least half of that.
Do we mean that as an individual, or do we mean that as a whole people? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it can never be exterminated because my cup is overflowing with people saying they black.
Yeah.
You know, black, Indian, all these misnomers.
Right.
It's over. You know, it's spilling on my hand now. You know what I'm saying? It's about to drown me right now.
You gotta throw the cup out, man.
But now
Throw the cup out.
flow,
That's what I
room, you know
that's what I allow for you
Up
to
to
do.
your neck.
I allow for you to throw the cup
to
out.
the neck. I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
Out the trail.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so what do you really mean? Like, individually,
Throw the cup
I might be able to say 1 or 2,
But
3.
here's the question though.
Yeah.
But is it an infringement on somebody's freedom? Because at the end of the day, you know, that's sometimes telling them person they're not this or something like that, then whether that leads to. So if they wishing to be a minor in the courts, if you wishing to be a minor in the courts, that is your freedom.
Yeah, leave them over there.
Yeah.
Leave them over there.
Yeah.
I'm finna leave over there.
This
I'm
is
not
what I
finna-
do in court. I have a law firm.
I'm not finna force you to do
that. Can't say very
It's,
much.
it's,
I'm not finna force you.
It's
Put your hand in the
simple.
crocodile mouth, man. Go ahead. You think it ain't gonna bite you? Go ahead.
Leave it in there.
I'm gonna look at your goof ass like, yeah, okay. She thought you was domesticated.
Thank God just keep you is keeping me steady. So like that's just at the end of the day, you know, like you said, you can't help everybody in the way that your heart, you know, wants to all the time. But
Yeah, for
you
sure.
can pray for people. I think that's a good way. It's power in prayer, and that's a fact.
Energy. Okay, talk about energy and all that, man.
That make me think of the cares of the
If it ain't
world.
being reciprocated,
Cares of the
that's the
world.
cares of the world.
Yeah,
I can't even go into that cares of the world.
I'm drowning.
Yeah, I'm gonna drown trying to pull you up.
Problems, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not finna drown because you drowning. If you want to, I'll throw you a life
You got
raft.
the answer. You
It
know
ain't
what
gonna
I'm
be
saying?
name. It ain't gonna be no name brand life raft. I'm gonna throw you a
But
little.
you want an instant.
I'm gonna throw you something from City Trends.
Instant gratification.
I'm gonna throw you a life raft for $1,000.
It's not. It don't take. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the long run.
Exactly. We didn't get here yesterday.
Right.
Right.
That state of mind didn't happen yesterday. This is ingrained after.
Yeah.
People want instant gratification.
Right.
How can I get out of this? The paperwork. Like, nah, bro.
I just called a case
Right, how much you
yesterday.
charge?
I need to
I'll
get out of
pay it,
this.
you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
what?
How much is your check?
Is it an ID?
I said, I'm
No,
free.
there ain't no ID.
Man, I need you to get me up out this jam real quick.
Right.
Now you want to come
Now
into
you
law.
want-
Now you want to come into law now.
You
You called a case yesterday.
Right. You don't know.
Nah.
You do not know the Bill of Rights at all. You know what I'm saying?
Even if I wrote it down, you still wouldn't even have the spirit in you to say the words right.
Right, exactly.
Because it's divine. I could write it down for you. You still ain't gonna say it right.
Well, Cush Day, he gave me this ID.
I can't do it right. He gave me the paperwork.
Now you
Nah.
famous. Now you famous.
You
That
ain't
don't
got the
count.
spirit. You ain't got the spirit.
That
in
don't
you to say
count.
it. It ain't divine. It's just you ain't coming with divine with it.
Right.
You just regurgitate something. You feel me? I can paint the picture for you and all that. Give you the paintbrush and let you sign the bottom of it. Remake it. I can't. You can't do it. You can't do it because it ain't divine. They want the microwave, instant gratification.
Yep.
Hey, so y'all caught a case last night. Hey man, I'm gonna need you tomorrow. What? Tomorrow?
Did you need me last week?
Yeah.
Who Joe?
What happened? What happened? 2 years ago, man. What happened then? Nah, I ain't need it then. All right, well, you need it now. Huh? I can't help.
He pulled me out the car.
Yeah, I can't do nothing for you. Yeah, you violated all my. Oh, now you talking rights now.
Yeah.
Ah,
Did he
okay.
search you? You let him search you? Yeah, I let him search you.
Yeah,
I did let him search me.
yeah, on everything.
I did, because I
Yeah.
had, what? Wait, oh, God.
So they got to do a deep detox,
Deep detox.
a full body
Over
detox.
there.
Man, I'm talking about full body.
Years.
You gotta get them with bleach.
Yeah, you got to do acid.
Acid.
You gotta kill him.
You got to dip him in
Bring him
acid,
back
G.
like the prophet.
Straight up.
Man.
You got to dip him in acid, man.
Gotta tip him.
Yeah, so this what they call it, a holy,
Yeah, that's the baptism.
baptism.
Yeah, that's the baptism. Yeah,
You gotta go through
Gotta-
death.
Yeah.
to get the life.
Yeah.
for real though.
Gotta kill him and bring him back.
You gotta go through death to get life.
Got life.
That's what Yeshua did.
Yeah.
He already knew though, but he knew he was gonna be straight.
Yeah.
But some people they hold on to the death
And he said
instead of holding on to the life.
Yeshua, they said Yeshua had like how many angels ready to come down and wipe the whole human race out.
Yeah,
He was like, nah.
right.
He was like, nah, don't do it. They don't know.
We was talking about that too. We was talking about that yesterday in the shop. People, they like Moore just said, are ingrained with degeneracy, death culture, not life culture. So then when they get bumped off the gram selling some, you know what I'm saying, something they ain't supposed to be moving, you embracing kill your own people culture instead of embracing like sell juices.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Styles P. Sell juices and stuff like that. Like sell stuff that's good for you. Talk that good talk, man. Talk that life talk. Niggas be kidding. They be funny talking about energy and the crystals and that.
Two sides of the fence. Are you a healer or you a killer? That's it. That's all I care about. Are you a healer or you a killer? Which trade? Which craft do you know?
I bring love
Because at
and
the end of
sword.
the day,
Same
that's the
time.
first thing
I
I'm
bring love
questioning.
and sword.
I got a scale on what it's gonna judge you. The scale was there.
We got two more questions in here. We'll put this one out to everybody. When did you realize that you were really a Moor? When did it sink in? When did it register for you that you're a Moor?
I had to go through something. I had to go through something. Then I seen that law shit work. I'm like, yeah, okay. I had to go through some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I seen it like, oh, this shit.
You had the first.
I had to go through some shit. Yeah, I had to
I
defend
self-
self-preservation. It's me or them right now.
When I fired everybody in the room, and I said I don't need no lawyer, I don't need nobody to speak for me in the house, and I had to fight for myself.
Yeah.
And then I had to demand, sorry. Yeah, that was it. It was no turning back.
That
No,
was
you want public? No, no.
because you know, when you know.
No.
It's like, nah, it's
You
either
cannot
now
speak
or
for
never.
me. You cannot speak for me ever,
It's now or never.
ever.
That's for me.
That's the moment I knew.
That's the moment I knew.
That's
Like,
the moment I
I've
knew.
been studying all this time. I've been
I
studying
never
all
look
this.
back.
This shit is now or never.
Yeah.
So the police here,
Yeah.
they own that. They got gloves on. They foaming at the mouth. They look like they finna tear my head off. It's now or never. What you finna do? I'm now my heart pumping. I'm like, shit, man. This shit, I don't know, G. I don't know if this shit finna work.
It's real.
Fuck it, I'm finna pull it.
I'm
though.
gonna just pull it.
Just pull it.
See what
I
happens.
just start talking some rights and some laws. He looked at me like, how'd you know that? Hey man, let me talk to you real quick. And that's how I was like, my heart just started. It just started slowing down. Then I start getting taller. Then I'm like 20 feet tall now. Shit, y'all can't tell me shit. Nothing. I'm on that now. You know what I'm saying? But that was
Validated.
I had to die that day. The fear died
Yeah.
of me being afraid of the police.
Same thing, yo.
Died right there.
Same thing. Had a situation. Yep. I had a situation, and once you got out the other side, you realize that so this is not just some talk.
Yeah.
This is not just some we're Moors and just saying it because it sounds good or whatever. This is actually factually working. You know, like it works. Yeah.
It's I feel like they're looking at you like you can, like in their own way, they're like, if I can do it, you can do it. They may not be proclaiming themselves as Moors, they may proclaim themselves as Americans or other country, or whether it's Europe or wherever, but if they're, I guess being, for lack of better words, divinely led, or if you're being divinely led and y'all meet at a crossroad or whatever, it is best to stand solid, like with no fear, because it could be that moment where you doubt that you have to go all the way back into the whole level over again. Like maybe you might get to the level faster, but it's just you live and you learn.
It's long.
And for me, the first time I read Divine Warning by the Prophet for the Nations, that's when I knew it was real. And that had to be like 2017, maybe 2018. That's when it was real for me.
Mhm.
And thankfully, I didn't have to experience no situation with no policy enforcement or whatnot. And I've had my situations with them since then that, ain't issues right now because they know what I know. They know I know what I know. And every time we have a conversation, this is what I'm gonna talk about. And I'm not gonna have this conversation with you out on the street. I'm gonna go file this paperwork up at the federal joint, and then we can talk about it later.
Yes, sir.
And we never get to that later. So, and it's never about the fine you're trying to get me. It's the fact that I know what I know who you are, and I know who I am.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna play it no more. Period.
Right.
That's what he said.
That's what I say without saying it.
Right.
Yes,
So
sir.
I don't give them too much ammo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Somebody stole my identity. Somebody stole my identity. Yeah, somebody stole my identity, and I was working for the government, and they threw me and trapped me in jail and all that stuff like that. So yeah, I had to go to court at the county, I had to sue the county and everything. I told them all this stuff wasn't real. It got real. It got real. Yeah. When you fight something like that, stuff like that. Okay. So I had to go in there, demanding and pretty much had to tell everybody what to do.
Yeah.
That was the moment when you have to tell everybody what to do. Whoever's on payroll, and I remember when I got to court. It wasn't even about that. It was telling everybody what to do. You supposed to do this. You the sergeant. You supposed to do it. You have to tell them their policies in order for them to pursue and advance certain stuff. And the moment I walked out the door and when the case was dismissed, I demanded to remove this F off my background immediately. They go, oh, it's the process and blah blah blah. I said, do it now. No, it's a delete button. So the guy came back. I was so worse back then. I was reading them they rights. Some guy came back in the back, he looked at my paper and removed it. Mm-hmm. Before I left out of that court. Mm-hmm. You're gonna do it right there because it's just the process, And a lot of people just aren't familiar with this themselves as far as with the due process. So that you can skip a lot knowing what to do. And that was the case. So now, of course, it was clear that, and I told her that the United States corporation, the number one crime is identity theft. The number one crime in the United States corporation is identity theft. Mm-hmm. So you just got to be mindful of that. That can hit. That can happen to you. That can happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple of questions. Do you advocate entering the temple or independent study and building?
For me, it's both.
Yeah, definitely both.
It's both. But, good luck on finding an honorable temple to be attached to.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for brothers like Cujo, Canaanland, and there's a few others like Brother Nature, and I can't think of the others off the top of my head at the moment, but for me it's both. And from where I am, back over in the DMV, supposed to be 3 temples. And I know for a fact the one in Baltimore is trash, and I never went. And the 2 that's in the city, from my comprehension, one is actually, what they call it? That tax C3, whatever.
501.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a non-starter for me when it comes to that, but at the same time, it'd be great to have both. It'd be great to have both. It'd be great to go to a temple that I know is on it for real, that's keeping the prophet up front, that's actually delivering his literature and teaching the people what he actually originally brought us, which was what? Not religion. He brought us what? He brought us principles of law.
I'm going to Canaanland, West Temple.
So for me, it's both.
It's not. Anybody else?
Well, shoot, me and Cush, we had bad experiences. Because when we pulled up to 71st Street, they got the temple right there on 71st Street. So we had a couple bad experiences with temples, man. We was like, oh nah. They came out, the way they greeted us, it was like hostile. You know what I mean? It was, oh well, Tosh Tariq Bey here, Sabir, you know, Sabir, you know, we messing with Sabir too, you know, like, at the time. And they were like, Sabir in here, what you doing over here? I'm like, that boy be more.
Yeah, like we was like,
what you doing over here?
on some
You can't
gang
post
bang
up
shit.
right
Like,
here.
My vice was
Yeah, we like,
they was on some like
we can
gang
post up
bang
anywhere
type.
we want to. At this time, we
This was years ago.
We're not even more there.
At this
Yeah.
time, we ain't the Moors that you.
Yeah.
We in the streets.
Yeah,
You know what
streets.
I'm saying?
Right, we on the streets.
We
Like,
ain't on that higher knowledge. No,
Yeah,
nah,
we
we on the
come over here,
streets.
we try to figure out the higher knowledge. We come over here, you know what I'm saying? Spin the block real quick.
Yeah,
You
real
know,
quick.
In the black SUV. Like you don't even know us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't from over here. So he like, you know, we spoke. I think we spoke to Taj on the phone.
Yeah.
Sabir, you know, Sabir pulled up to where Sabir was. Sabir was like, man, the Moors, they kind of crazy. So because we just let it be. So I had a bad experience. So I was like, man, self-talk. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
man, Cush, we like go to the bookstore. We went to the bookstore, the library, you know, and the people that we used to hang around with. They was dropping them like flies, you know. They didn't want to go to the bookstore with us, you know. And they didn't want to go to the library with us. It was just me and Cush. We was going in there grabbing hella books, you know what I'm saying? All we could get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a bad experience for me. So I don't really trust temples, but like you know, Cujo, you know, and you know some other ones, you know.
It's only a couple.
It's only a few though.
It's a few.
It's only
They
a
be
few
on
months.
they be on
I
that
didn't
commercial
see it.
stuff too.
Uno.
Like you
Uno.
interpret the law. Like, no, the law said this, and you saying no, we citizens, and no, we national. No.
Exactly.
Yeah. Real life though.
So, yeah.
What was that temple we went to last year? Was it? That's not the one. It was on the west side.
Y'all was out west?
Yeah, we went to go see Grand Chief.
Oh, can you? The one at the school?
Yeah.
I would say
They trying to pull it.
yeah. And everything. I would say like for me personally, I would say like Mo was saying, you could try the temple, try to go to the temple, see how it is.
See what it is, yeah.
You know, see what they fill them out, see what they on, see if they on law. If they ain't on law from the door, get out
That's
of
a
there.
no-go.
I'm gone. That's just my, suggestion. Go to some temples, fill them out, see if they on law. If they got, just look at the symbols and the signs. If they ain't got the flags even posted up right,
Right.
you automatically know from
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You like,
Right.
y'all bogus as hell. Y'all ain't got the flags up there. Like, ain't a picture of the prophet in here nowhere. Y'all, I got him on. Hold on 1 second. I gotta go get him. He underneath the cat.
You're right.
What?
He in the closet.
Yeah, I gotta like.
Took him down.
Yeah, like fam, this, but like,
Singing hymns and
Yeah.
Star Spangled Banner up and all that.
Harold Biff.
yeah, like, you know what
Got him in
I'm
the coffin. You know what I'm saying? Like Harold Biff.
saying? Yeah, they got him hitting and whatnot. Like, so if that ain't even right. You coming in there? That ain't even. You just see that off top. Like, nah, this ain't even. They ain't even got the flags up right. Prophet ain't nowhere to be found. They ain't here talking like Christians and y'all singing hymns, like more y'all singing hymns and you saying hallelujah every 2 seconds. Nah, I'm cool. So the self-talk, I would say balance that out with other mores.
Gotta do that, yeah.
With other mores or just yourself. So you sharpening your own sword up. You know what I'm saying?
Self-talk is essential.
Yeah, then you get around other mores that's like-minded.
Yeah.
Then you start building, like you will see, like you will catch keys off what they saying. So what they saying, they language right, you like, okay, well I learned something from you, you learned something from me. We could sharpen up. Islam.
Last question, unless you have any questions. Do you have any questions?
Oh, well, I just, well, the temple, I think the temple is the body. So as long as we are a group of people that just tries with the body and perspective, we can travel anywhere. I mean, I can set up a temple anywhere in the world. I mean, I've done that and experienced that on the whole energy. Like, I don't know if it's a particular place and location, time and existence, but that always changes. So, you know, it's just really now, it's becoming more accessible to be able to find like-minded people. So I always follow the body.
It's not, you really have to be careful because of that. It's not even accessibility, it's just love. You know, like, even if you just go by the books, I'm from Detroit.
Yeah, you gotta know who you get.
A lot, and look, it's dangerous out there because everybody is, I can set up my own temple here. This is all, so I can go by the books and but they're not honoring the prophet of Muhammad. They're not honoring common. Why not just build with your brother who doesn't live but a couple hours away? That's way cheaper, and y'all be able to probably go into business together and help other Muslims be able to hire people and teach them at the same time and bring the congregation where they can go. Why not centralize it? Why spread out and then, but that's what's happened, And so at least since they're going by the books, hey, it's all on paper. I mean, we know who you are. Feds know who you are. We know who you are. Good job. You know what I'm saying? But some people just do it to be known. Like, they're not doing it to honor. Like, that's the most heartbreaking thing. But not even that. It's misleading, and it makes it longer for us to be able to truly come together and do it in a way that this is simple. Like, and no, right here.
Islam Mars. Give thanks again for our Love, Truth, Peace, Freedom, Justice tour. Give thanks for you Moors being in attendance, especially the Moors who came from over yonder to be here.
I just literally just learned Europe, JFK. JFK is a mess. I just came from out of Scotland. Yeah, I just came from Scotland. I got some work. Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
Look, I am here. Look, I'm scouting too. Yes, I am on a witch hunt. Witchcraft, I need some help.
Yeah.
But no, they love. It was love. It was all love. All love. Oh, I was just so grateful. I was so grateful. Wore my flags. Oh yeah, it was great.
They knew what was up.
Great. They knew it was great. Just don't believe about JFK. JFK is a mess. But yeah, New York. Then I drove St. Louis, made it to St. Louis, and then I drove here. So I've been traveling these lands, and it's everywhere. Signs and symbols, like what you just mentioned. That's what they said. It's trying to split our people. That it's everywhere. It is literally everywhere. You just gotta know where your people are.
Islam Mars. I don't know where Sister Yelly is. I wanted to give her a shout out before we get out of here.
I'm gonna add something to that.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Like he was talking about freedom a minute ago. We talking about like it's a state of mind. People love talking about Jesus, right? They love talking about Jesus. They throw that word out all the time. We know he got Yeshua, and he got, you know what I'm saying, Jesus. But he say in the circle 7, page 24, he say, and Jesus said, I will, what did he say? Let me go up a little bit. Where you at right here? He said on page 24, number 11, this you can surely do. For did not David say, quote, he gives his angels charge concerning you, and with their hands they will uphold lest you shall fall. So he's saying that anybody can do what Yahushua did. Much as people saying like, man, you need the faith of a mustard seed, that shit real. Like all you gotta do is just have that real like confidence and belief and faith in yourself, and then you start going over the lessons to know.
Right.
Once you get that once you get that little mustard seed, like I know what I'm on. This what I'm on. Can't nobody budge you. Right. You just gotta have that mustard seed, like that faith, like I'm finna do this because he said it right there. You know what I'm saying? He said it right there, like man, what I do, all y'all can do. All y'all can do this. This ain't. Man, he was talking about like I seen like in the circle 7 where he was talking about how like he was talking about he grabbed 2 people, right? Imagine coming out this library and you see like a tidal wave outside, like a monsoon. It's crazy outside. And Yahushua would just come and just grab you by the hand. Like he took 2 people up, Juliet and somebody else. He grabbed 2 people by the hand, pulled them up on top of the wave, and walked off to the shore. Now, if you imagine seeing that, you like, damn,
That's some movie stuff.
a whole monsoon? Man, you seen Geostorm before.
Yeah.
Imagine you see a gigantic tidal wave, fam, and you see a man just come down and just take 2 people that's drowning and just walk them off on top of the water during the storm. Sit them on the ground and say, you good. Now, if he said that you could do that, fam, he said, y'all can do everything I do and more though. Fam, just imagine that mustard seed in your mind, like, fam, if he did that, what can I do? It's just that confidence though. That's what's lacking with so-called black people. Just that you say you with Jesus and hallelujah, but when it comes to that, this is it. Like everybody we talking about that moment when you like how you know you were more. Like this is that moment, like this is it. Then we're gonna see if you got the courage or not to really be yourself and be that. Islam.
Round of applause for Sister Yelly. Making it happen. Appreciate you. Thank you. You have any closing remarks before we get out here? You're good? All right. Honors for the children being here too. And again, all the Moors, Scotland and all over.
So,
Honors to y'all. We're just gonna do our closeout and then we'll be here for a little bit just to build before we get out here. So we'll just close out pieces that way. Five on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe. Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, through our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Islam. Honors to all the Moors in the chat as well.
Islam.
Islam.
The Father keeps you straight, and the 2 is your saving grace.
That's yeah, Claudius and Juliet. Claudius and Juliet. Page 26, 27, and 28.
I got some brownies over here. If anybody wants one, but they you can't magic.
Magic brownies.
Magic brownies.
Magic.
Yeah.
So you know what?
They stole the book.
That's how it goes.
I didn't mad. I'm like, well, at least it's fresh. I'm not if you're gonna read it,
They stole the book.
trying to wake up the dead.
That's bogus.
Took my book.
I see him eventually. I get him another.
For sure.
I can definitely get another one
Yeah.
from you, but yeah, I
That's
definitely
what
will.
you said.
I said
Do something with it. Hopefully you gonna do something with it.
that's why I'm not even gonna say. I'm like, well, at least he gonna read it.
Yeah.
So I definitely gotta get another one.
Okay. I got you.
It's my son's birthday today.
Yeah.
So we have a whole itinerary. Yeah, he turned 3. So
What?
yes.
Happy solar
He was
return.
the grandson today. Yes, I was like, this is a holy day. So I was like, sure, on your holy day, your solar return. Why not? Sure, absolutely. I'm like, mommy just went to church. But I'm here, and we're gonna have a great time in Chicago. We're gonna get a real pizza.
Yeah.
Cause they don't make it. I'm tired. It's home. It's home. It's home.